Hey everyone, I've got a new palette from Lancome with me today, and I'm very, very surprised at how much I absolutely love it. Plus, I have an anti-aging secret that I just discovered. I'm going to let you in on that. This is the new Audacity in London. So last year they had an Audacity in Paris. Now we have an Audacity in London. I was not a big fan of the Audacity in Paris. I felt like a lot of the colors were exactly the same, but not the case with this one. Let me just start there. I'll show you exactly how I did this today. I'm just really, really happy with how this turned out. So beautiful. Here are your colors. Okay, you have 4 groupings. This one is grays, we have greens, we have purpley lavenders, and then we have some sort of peachy browns. I'm really surprised at how well these colors went on today, how soft they were, and how they blended well. I really felt when I was just sort of playing with this palette at first that a lot of these were very hard and that they would not get on my brush, but they got on my brushes just like a dream. So you have a mixture of shimmers and mattes down here, and then you have 4 beautiful super glitters up there at the top. I'll show you what I did with a couple of those glitters. You also get a really nice brush with this palette. I used this brush today. It is quite a bit softer than I thought. A lot of times these black bristle brushes like this are going to be real pointy and cheap feeling, bristly feeling. This one was actually quite soft. I used this in my crease, and then I used this flat brush in a couple of different places on my lid today. So I'm going to swatch these colors for you. They're beautiful. It does say on this palette that some of these are shadows and some of them are considered liners. It says it's a 16 shadow and liner palette. So I will show you these first 3 colors. These are mattes in this block right here. These are your neutrals from the palette, the neutral end. These are great crease colors right here. Great contour colors. I put one of them, the middle one, on my lower lash line before I put all these dark colors on top of it. Really good. Next 3 colors are your 3 purples. They're beautiful. Next time I do a look from this palette, I'm doing these purples. Oh yeah, beautiful. Next 3 are the greens that I used today. For the most part, I used kind of everything. I used something from every block of this palette today. There are your greens. And your grays. This last color is more of a navy than anything else. It's not, I thought it was a dark gray. It's a purplish navy. And it looks very muddy on my hand, but it went on so pretty on this outer corner. Can you see how purpley gray it is, purpley blue it is? Okay, the 4 glitter colors at the bottom of the palette. I really think these 2 deep colors here are probably meant to be liners, and that's what I used the deepest color, that navy one, for. I did put that on my upper lid with a liner on underneath it. Your 4 glitters. Okay, now these feel quite hard and quite chunky and quite glittery. However, if you apply these, that one I went crazy with. If you apply these with a very, very wet brush, you will get a foil effect, which is what I got on my eyes today in a couple of places I will show you. Last 2 colors, there's a green one and a silver one. I used the silver on my lid today to foil. They feel just terrible to your fingers when you touch them on the palette. They feel terribly glittery, terribly chunky, terribly fallout-y, but if you put them on with a really soaking wet brush, they perform beautifully. So here's how I did my eyes today. This really lightest green right here, I'm going to start out with that on my lid. Okay, and I'm even going to use this little brush that came with it. I'm going to use this little flat end right here. That color is fairly soft. I'm just going to put that right here. I'm going to put something sparkly in here and something dark out here. So I'm not going to put any of this green on either of those 2 places. That one's soft. That one's actually very soft. I'm going to use this brush again and go in the crease with this slightly deeper green right here. That one's soft as well. The only real highlighter color on here is this very first really white one, so I'm going to put that on. I'm going to kind of go above, slightly above the crease with this color right here to give it a little bit of warmth. Just slightly above all that crease color. That's a good color. It's a matte caramel color. Now I'm going to start on the dark colors in the outer corner. There's a very deep foresty green right here. I'm going to use that. That's kind of a good color. It's kind of nicer than I thought it was going to be. And I'm going to put some even darker color out there in a minute too. Now taking a smaller brush, I'm putting just in the very outer corner this really dark, I think they're almost calling it a purple. I think it's called Midnight Purple. It is purple, look at that. It's kind of, I thought it was just a really dark gray, but I'm getting a blue, like a blue purple out of it. Just a little bit. Kinda. I thought it was just a really dark gray, but I'm getting a blue. Okay, now I'm going to put some of this silvery color on top of the green lid color. That one I believe is called Rainy Afternoon. Just patting. Okay, I'm attempting to, with a wet brush, get into some of these glitter colors that are along the bottom here in my inner corner, kind of. So I'm going into this lavender one. It is very flaky, very flaky. That's going to take some work. A little bit. It is foiling. That's where you put something on and it looks like foil, like a foil effect. I'm going to have to work on that because in places it went on heavier and in places it went on lighter. So I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning up, but it is doing what I wanted it to do, and that's kind of foiling through there. I'm going to have to clean it up. It's kind of doing what I want. Now this brush is soaking wet. It's not damp. It's not sprayed with Fix Plus or anything like that. It is soaking wet with water. So now I've taken this silver sparkle and I'm foiling across my lid here a little bit. As my brush is getting a little drier, it's kind of getting harder to do. See, look, that's kind of ethereal. Ooh, I like it. Okay, I like this palette. Okay, I'm going to clean up some of this under here. It went a little bit crazy, but wow, I like it. Okay, let's see what we can get into with eyeliner here for my bottom lids. I've already gone across with this middle sort of very light neutral color. It's called Trench Coat. That's a great color. It's matte, but it's very pigmented and very soft. It's a good crease color or contour color, and I've just kind of put that just right along the bottom of my lashes there, just to give everything else something to stick to and to sort of make the whole line look more cohesive. I think just to be crazy and unpredictable, you know, that's me. This purple, I'm going to put some of that down there on that bottom line. That one's called Purple Queen. And I've got like every color tone going on with this eye look today. I've got something from every one of these little blocks of color on this palette. This one's got a bit of shimmer to it. This one's soft too. I haven't really run across anything that's not a good texture on these. I'm going to blend that line a little bit better in a minute. But first I'm going to take this gorgeous, super dark, navy-ish purple at the end, and I'm going to do my outer part of my line under there. I went ahead and did a navy liner on top because I feel like this is just becoming kind of a navy look here. I'm going to blend all of that lower line together in a second. Taking an angled brush, dipping into that super dark purpley blue and sort of going onto my eyeliner with it. Sort of to make it more smudgy and less of a line. I just think this palette is just so astronomically wonderful. After I had applied all this stuff, you know, when I was swatching it, when I first opened it up, I thought this is not that great. These are going to be hard. I'm running my fingers over them. They feel hard to me, but they got on my brush nicely and they were easy to work with. Once you get these glitter ones wetted down, they go on just in a foil. I can't wait to do these purples right here. This palette has a lot more variation to it than the last palette. The last palette was just a million different shades of the same exact tone and color. It had a lot of this one pink, just kind of over and over, this kind of peachy pink over and over again. It was very boring. This one is way not like that. This one is totally varied. I think they understood that their last palette was not varied enough and didn't have enough colors, a range of colors in it. This one is nothing but a range of colors. I think they did a really good job. I think the packaging is as lovely as always. We always have a cute little design on the front. I just really think they did a good job with this palette, much better than last year. I just happened upon the best anti-aging secret I had never thought of. The other day I got one of these enhanced click sticks from CoverFX. The color I got is bubbly. I did a video on this, and I have never really enjoyed too much cream highlighters or cream cheek products, because a lot of times when I put a cream highlighter on top of my cheek, it will melt through my previous layers, my foundation, my powder, and my blush. This has not been doing that, and I have this on today. So what I've noticed is I can get kind of, not really like my skin is dry through my cheek area, but my cheek just needs some plumping. So when I put this on today, and part of it is the pigment that's in this and the way that this shines and the way that the formula is of these, they are plumping my cheek right along here. So I have these fine lines right through here, and then when I put this on, it looks just like wet skin, and not so much a super pigmented, bright, shining highlight. It just kind of looks like wet skin, and it gives my cheekbone and right around here, my eye, kind of, where it's kind of wrinkly, it gives that a plumping look. It's not actually plumping it, but it looks plump and just more young and youthful. Your skin just looks more dewy in that area. So I'm going to pick up a lot more of these. They have a huge range of colors. They have one in Celestial that matches my fantastic Celestial Enhanced Drops from CoverFX. And then they had another color called Blossom that had a little bit of a pink tone to it. But I really noticed how plumping it made my skin look through here. I did put a powder product on top of it, and that is the CoverFX's new powder Perfect Light Highlighting that I also did a review of. I put that on top of this bubbly color, but the bubbly is really what is giving me sort of a plumper, smoother, firmer look. I'm really shocked at how much plumper and younger I feel like I'm looking in that area. Coming up, I went ahead and ordered, after going to 9 million Walgreens looking for these products, I finally went ahead and ordered on wetandwild.com their new fall lineup, which is all about disco. Ring my bell bottoms and everything else. It's all about disco. They have some nail polishes, of course. They have a highlighting gold brick bar for highlighting. They have some potted pigments, Wet n Wild pigments. I can't wait. Eyeshadow pigments. Can't wait to play with those. That's another review. I'll see you for that one later. Bye bye.